we can look at the comments. Got too much drip, yeah, I know she can't hold it. Looking on your bitch, even though she got cold.
Then make sure you go to wearetough.com right now and get you that new Sniper Gang merch. Use promo code Showface News to get 15% off on your order right now. And also make sure you follow Showface News on Clubhouse right now to be a part of the conversation. Join the Sniper Gang today. No, I said you're going to get results. There is no going wrong with my methods at all. Listen, there is not a better time or place to go crazy on YouTube than right now. That is almost 1 million views up there in less than a month's time. All it takes is dedication. All it takes is consistency. I'm going to show you everything you could ever need to make a great YouTube page, to get 5-figure income and more. Listen, this could take you places. You'll be surprised who you can meet. I've had celebrities. I repeat, I've had celebrities in my live chats, all types of people. You'll be very surprised who you may come in contact with just because you have gone so deep in the algorithm. I don't know if this is a fake King Louis, but if it is the real, that's the real him?
Yeah.
Really? People still gonna take her side. You know? D. Haven says she's not going to jail, not dealing with Rock Nation. She good. Yeah? Now, I'll be honest with you, man. To even have thousands on your YouTube on a regular basis, which I do, is rare. I have my own algorithm. Showface News is its own algorithm. A lot of channels don't got that. I have a very unique channel. I do my own thing. You gotta be creative. You gotta have uniqueness. That's what YouTube looks for. YouTube respects hard work and creativity. You understand? But again, you can learn from me. You can learn a lot from me, and I can give you this game, and I can help you become great. But listen, you have to be consistent. You have to be consistent. You want to do a class for one section of YouTube? That's cool. You want to get the entire game in one setting? That's cool too. The only way you're going to have issues after learning from me is if you're not consistent. And that's the hardest part about it all. Consistency. Consistency is key. You got to keep putting out content. Little Durk, the rapper, is very successful. Why? Because he continues to put out content. Yeah, he might be rich. Yeah, he might be doing well for himself. However, he wants to stay relevant and stay up in that algorithm. And that's what you got to do. Stay up in that algorithm, y'all. You got to have love and passion for it. Do what you love. You want to cook. You a dancer. You want to walk people through your life. You a truck driver. You want to show people how your life is. You want to speak on current events in your truck or whatever you want to do. There's a lane for everything. Act right now. DM me or hit my line. You know the number. You know where to hit me. Let's get started today. I'm ready. I hope you are. Let's get it. Welcome to Showface News. We are back again with another one. Make sure y'all smashing that like button. Let's get these likes up respectfully. You know how we giving it up here. You dig? You know how we giving it up. Make sure you get them likes up and smash that like button. Push the goddamn button. Push the goddamn button. Push the goddamn button. Push the goddamn. Push the goddamn button, respectfully. But Brittney Griner just got sentenced to 9 years in Russia, y'all. Brittney Griner just got sentenced to, I repeat, 9 years in Russia. You dig? Let's share this screen, man. Let's get this screen. This is nasty work. But let's get right into it, y'all. You dig? Let's get right into it. Let's get these likes up respectfully. Let's get it.
It's a question of how the Russian judge will apply the law in this.
Now that the trial is over, attention will likely shift to a proposed swap made by the Biden administration in exchange for Brittney Griner and former Marine Paul Whelan, which we've heard a lot about. Notorious arms dealer Victor Bout could be freed from an American prison. Where does that proposal stand now?
I think the proposal is being negotiated between the United States and Russia. The United States has expressed its intention of trying to deal with this prisoner swap, but the leverage right now is with the Russian Federation because they haven't agreed to the swap and they haven't agreed to the terms of the swap. So until the Russians agree to exchange Brittney Griner for Victor Bout or somebody else, the Russians will have leverage into how fast this process goes.
We want to play some of Brittney Griner's own words in these closing arguments to hear what she had to say in pleading guilty and asking for leniency.
I understand everything that's being said against me, the charges that are against me, and that is why I pled guilty. But I had no intent to break any Russian law. I want to apologize to my teammates, my club, Wnba, the fans, and the city of DCAT, my mistake that I made and the embarrassment that I brought onto them. I know everybody keeps talking about political pawn and politics, but I hope that that is far from this courtroom.
So, William,
Jesus Christ. Man,
Getting an
my
LLC for your
brother, I
business
just paid for
doesn't
YouTube
have to look
premium. I dead just paid my YouTube premium bill. There's not supposed to be ads. These not supposed to be ads. I dead just paid it. There's no way in hell that you niggas are still giving me ads. I paid my premium bill, y'all. Respectfully, I paid my bill,
Just
man.
Google LLC Taylor Brands. It's totally easy. You pick a state.
Hold on, man. What is this, 148? Man, we gonna refresh this shit, nigga. Y'all niggas trying to play me, nigga. I paid my bill. Hold on, champ. Wait a minute, man. We gonna go back. Give me a second, y'all. We gonna go right back to the coverage. These YouTube trying to play with me like I ain't just pay my bill, nigga. Stop playing with me, YouTube, like I ain't just pay my bill, nigga. Come on, champs. You dig? Like I said, man. Niggas trying to play with me like I ain't just paid my motherfucking bill. Nigga, I dead just paid that shit. Fuck out of here, YouTube. Y'all trying to play with me, man. Let's get back to this coverage. This niggas is trying to play with niggas' bills. There should be no bill. Hold on, let me check something. Make sure my bill, because this shit is on premium membership. I'm about to check. You see purchases and memberships. It's already renewed, y'all. I just renewed my bill. There's no fucking way. I did renewed my bill from my phone. It's supposed to. You know what I'm saying? This shit's already renewed. Come on, champs. Y'all niggas is playing with me. Anyway, let's get back to the coverage, though. I guess it'll hit when it hit. I dead just paid my YouTube premium bill. Them niggas is trying to play with me. But let's get back to this coverage, y'all, respectfully. Let's get back to this coverage, man. Them niggas trying to play me like I ain't paid my bill, champ.
In prison, I anticipate a slightly lesser sentence, but nevertheless a severe sentence as well. So I can't anticipate what the actual length of the sentence will be, but since she's been found guilty, since she pled guilty, I anticipate a significant sentence and significant time, unfortunately, for Brittney Griner.
Well, I mean, it's an interesting point. I think some of our viewers might think that her defense team's, having her plead guilty was a strategy for potentially a lighter sentence. Are you saying that's not the case? Was that a good move? I mean, we should note that Russian criminal courts reportedly have a conviction rate of 99%. So, they were possibly just hoping for a lighter sentence.
I think the Russian counsel did the best they could in light of the Russian legal system. And they have tried to make a case for leniency, but it is up to the judge to decide what the sentence will be. So I think the Russian counsel did the best they could do in light of the system that works in the Russian Federation, and that pleading guilty, as opposed to contesting the charges, most likely was the best strategy.
I want to bring in now Jessica Levinson. She is a legal contributor for CBS News, and she's also been following this. Jessica, we've been talking to William about the legal strategy in trying to plead guilty and hope for a lesser sentence. We also are very interested in the potential that this is having greater ramifications geopolitically. How do you think that might factor in or not factor in to what's happening in Russia?
Well, obviously, we're having two tracks of conversations here. We're having the legal track, and that has almost come to an end at this point. I mean, the verdict.
Let me skip around.
We saw her shaking her head for the first time. Otherwise, she had been really poker faced. So we are poised to hear what the judge has decided in any moment in terms of what her sentence is going to be. Prosecutors asking for 9.5 years. They also say that they argue that she did it deliberately, that she intended to bring the cannabis into the country, that they have charged her not only with possession, but also with drug smuggling. Does intent matter at all? Because we know that the defense has been arguing that this was a mistake. She was in a COVID fog. She had just packed everything really rapidly. And because she had a prescription for medical marijuana and was using it in the United States, that she never intended to bring this vape cartridge. Does that matter at all when it comes to this trial?
Listen, let me speak my piece real quick. Okay, so first of all, I feel like 9 years is dragging it, man. 9 years is dragging it. Now look, this ain't America where we have the same type of laws and regulations. You know what I'm saying? Now this may very well be a biased in lockup. Like the lockup is biased for obvious reasons. We're not gonna get into the reason why it's biased, but you know who to blame behind this. You know what I'm saying? You know who to blame behind this. Salute to Quinsole in the chat. 95 watching, only 19 likes. You need to get the likes up respectfully. You know what you have to do when you come in here. You need to be smashing that like button. You dig? Salute to Quinsole in the chat. Listen, man. First and foremost, yeah, 9 years is crazy. 9 years is insane. I ain't gonna hold you over that. It's crazy, but it's illegal. Like I said, it's illegal in Russia. You know what I'm saying? It's it's illegal in Russia. So yeah, man, that's what you gotta do. Listen, unfortunately, 9 years is insane. I don't think nobody should be serving this much time. You know what I'm saying? I don't think she should be in jail at all. But goddamn, it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Will she ever get out early? I have no idea. But everybody pretty much knows why she's in there and why she's getting hit with these sentences, man. I mean, people know why she's getting hit with this sentence. We gotta just keep it in here. Everybody knows. If they ignore the fact, they ignore the fact. You know what I'm saying? Listen, we know exactly why this is happening. I guarantee you, if a certain someone was in office, that this person wouldn't be going through this right now. Let's just put it like that. It's clear as day. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, man. That's all I have to say. But certain conversations we're gonna stay away from because it's not for YouTube. It's not allowed on YouTube, so stay away from it. Respectfully. You dig? But yeah, this is nasty work, champs. I can't hold you. You dig? This is very nasty work indeed. But yeah, man. Nasty. Like I said, 9 years is harsh. Her whole WNBA career is over. Cause 9 years, she ain't gonna. I mean, she might be in good shape, but listen, 9 years is insane, fam. 9 years is insane. Listen. People are doing less for worse. But look, this is a whole different country. This is a different place. This is not America. This is a whole different place with a different set of rules. You dig? But yeah, man, it's nasty, man. Yeah, just go in there. You kind of setting yourself up for the kill, for real. I ain't gonna hold you. So listen, man. Accidental or non-accidental, this is what it is, man. You know what's going on. You know who's in office, and that's it. This is just what happens, unfortunately, y'all. But she was sentenced to 9 years. 9 years. Very nasty work. But this is reality, y'all. Let's make sure we get them likes up. Let's continue to get these likes up, though, respectfully. Smash that like button. Let's continue.
Oh, Jessica?
So I think yes and no. The answer is that for American viewers, we're used to intent obviously making a difference when it comes to liability and culpability, and many times even in the sentence. So you might have a completely different sentence if you inadvertently violated a law. For instance, on the federal level in America, it is still not legal to possess marijuana. But Russian courts have different protections and, frankly, far fewer protections when it comes to criminal defendants. So it clearly didn't matter when it came to whether or not she was liable, whether or not she was culpable. And now in moments, I think we'll hear whether or not it makes any difference when it comes to the length of the sentence. Again, I think anything under 9.5 years, which is what the prosecutors asked for here, would indicate that maybe the judge did take the defense's arguments here into consideration, into the idea that, she did inadvertently do this, that obviously she wouldn't have wanted to find herself on, the inside of a cage as we see her right now. But again, that's an answer that we'll know really in a few moments as to whether or not that played in the judge's mind.
Jessica and MTS and our viewers, stay with us. I just want to share some other breaking news. We're just learning from the Justice Department. 4 Louisville, Kentucky police officers now face federal charges in the drug raid that led to the death of Breonna Taylor. Just to remind our audience, Breonna Taylor, 26-year-old, was fatally shot in Kentucky in March of 2020 when at least 7 police officers forced entry into her apartment as part of an investigation into drug dealing operations. I want to come back here. We're seeing some more movement in this Russian courtroom with Brittney Griner. MTS, I want to turn to you, and I'm honestly not sure if you can address this, but do we have any idea what the conditions in the Russian prison where Brittney Griner will be, has been, are, and just generally any reaction you're hearing there in Europe? I know this is just happening.
Right, and before I answer that question,
listen, this is all bad, man. This is all bad. Listen, again, you know who to blame for this. I'm not gonna tell you who to blame. We're not allowed to do that on YouTube. But you know who to blame, though. Do I gotta tell you? I ain't gotta tell you nothing. You know. You dig? You know exactly what it is, champ. You know exactly what it is, respectfully. You know what I'm saying? This is very nasty work. I ain't gonna hold you. Very nasty work. I can't hold y'all, man. Like I said, it is what it is, man. 9 years is intense. She gonna be speaking fluent Russian when she get up out of there. She gonna know Russian my heart. She ain't never gonna wanna go back to Russia ever again. You dig? You real talk. Yeah, bro, it's nasty. But you know what it is. Let's proceed.
I should let you know that this has just come in. We do have a sentencing for Brittney Griner. She's been sentenced to 9 years in prison, and she has been fined 1 million rubles, which is around $16,000 or $17,000. So Brittney Griner, again, sentenced to 9 years in a Russian prison for these narcotics charges. Now, this is just 6 months less than what the prosecution was asking for. We have to remember that her lawyers had, for the entirety of the case, had appealed for leniency from this judge, trying to create a picture of an American athlete who was exhausted after a long flight, who had just recovered from COVID, who lived in a place where having a small quantity of this cannabis oil, which was prescribed to her from a doctor, it was a mistake, and that she packed it in haste, and it seems that has fallen on deaf ears in this court. Again, Brittney Griner sentenced to 9 years in prison and is going to be facing a fine of up to 1 million rubles, which again is around $16,000 or $17,000. And it really just underscores what we've been saying about this case, and more importantly about Russia's legal system when it comes to these crimes and when it comes to its court system generally. usually doesn't bode very well for those who are caught up and who are accused of committing crimes, particularly drug crimes. And now we have this sentencing. But as far as the conditions go, we have heard from Brittney Griner in the past, in which she said that she was being cared for. And I think, again, being very careful in how she described the conditions in which she was or she's been imprisoned in. But we don't have a huge amount of information about the kind of food she's receiving or the cell that she sleeps in at night. What we do know is that she typically wears her own clothing, that when she enters the court, she often has photographs with her. She will have photographs of her family, of her loved ones, of her wife. And today she walked in with a photograph of her Russian team, a team she's been playing with for 7 years, a team which she says she loves and her teammates that she cares about, and a team that she apologized for because of this entire situation. And yet this image that she tried to project as somebody who cared about Russia, cared about her time in Russia, the years she spent in Russia, and perhaps more specifically, that the seriousness in which she took Russian laws, saying that she knew she broke the law and that she understood she did, and that is why she admitted her guilt in this case. Well, it would seem that wasn't enough for this judge. As we've been saying, Brittney Griner now sentenced to 9 years in a Russian prison.
9 years. And one of the things that the defense for Griner said was that she had won the sympathy of her guards, her fellow prison inmates who supported her, according to the AP, by shouting, "Brittney, everything will be okay." But we know now that she has been sentenced to 9 years and a fine of roughly $16,000 US. Imtiaz, do you know?
Listen, man. Y'all know who to blame for this. Y'all know exactly who to blame for this. I ain't got nothing more to say. You know what I'm saying? Again, very unfortunate. But y'all know what's going on, man. Y'all know exactly what's going on. You know exactly. I can't tell you what's going on. You know what's going on. I ain't gotta say shit. I ain't gotta say nothing. This is YouTube. Is it injustice? Absolutely. Very much injustice, because that's just too long. That's kind of ridiculous, man. 9 years is crazy. Come on, fam. That actually worked. Listen. It's gonna be crazy. Y'all do have to realize that overseas prisons, overseas jails is much different from American jail, by the way. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's not looking good. But yeah, man. Y'all see what's going on. I mean, I'm not gonna hold you. I was kind of expecting this, low key. You know, I was kind of expecting them to violate for obvious reasons. You know what I'm saying? I was expecting them to violate. You dig? That was clear as day. They was gonna violate for obvious reasons. Make sure y'all getting them likes up, man. But let's proceed, y'all.
Do you know anything more about an appeals process or what the next steps might be through the Russian judicial system?
It's very early days, and it's hard to say. I'd imagine that there would be some sort of appeals process, but I think more than anything, what Brittney Griner's family, what the NBA and her supporters will no doubt be putting even more pressure on the Biden administration, on the White House, on the State Department to do something to get her home. As we've been saying, prisoner swaps, while uncommon, are not unheard of. We understand that in the past, Americans caught up in Russia, given sentences which may seem disproportionate to the crime, have been swapped in the past, and that the hope is that this will happen for Brittney Griner. The difference now is that the tensions between Moscow and Washington, which of course, as we know, has historically been tense for decades and decades, but in this specific moment in which now over 5 months since Vladimir Putin's invasion of Ukraine, in which we know the first time that the Secretary of State spoke to his counterpart was specifically about Brittney Griner, a conversation between these two diplomats, which frankly did not happen since the start of that invasion, which really gives you a sense of just how frosty ties have become. But none of that has resulted in some sort of an agreement which will see Brittney Griner sent home. As we've been saying, the U.S. has offered to swap Brittney Griner and a man by the name of Paul Whelan, another American who's being held in a Russian prison, that the two of them be swapped with a man known as Victor Bout. Victor Bout is a notorious arms dealer. He's considered a very dangerous person, but it really just underscores just how much the State Department and indeed the White House want to resolve this, that they're offering a Russian who, again, is accused of pretty heinous crimes to free not only Brittney, but of course Mr. Whelan as well. But so far, nothing has happened, and has been said already, the ball really remains in Russia's court, and quite frankly, remains in Vladimir Putin's court. One would imagine that any decision made on Brittney Griner's future will come down to Vladimir Putin, whether or not he wants to do this prisoner swap or not. But given just how tense the relationship is between the U.S. and Russia is right now, I think there's a lot of people who are looking at this situation and are very worried about her, very worried that she could see herself behind bars for a very long time. Again, as we've been saying, she's already been in prison for 168 days. She's now been sentenced to a further 9 years in prison. And the question now is whether she will spend that much time behind bars.
We're seeing images of what
Nigga, Putin is gangster too. You know what I'm saying? Putin is gangster as hell. I ain't gonna hold y'all. Putin one of the most dangerous motherfuckers living right now. You dig? Respectfully. But yeah, man. Will she serve those 9 years? I think she'll get out. I think she'll get out eventually. I ain't gonna hold. I don't think she's gonna do that whole 9. I don't think she's gonna do the whole 9. You know what I'm saying? I don't think she's gonna do that whole 9. I'm gonna keep it a G with you. You know what I'm saying? I don't think she's gonna do that whole 9. I think she's gonna get out in at least 2 or 3. There's no way they gonna violate her like 9. I doubt it, champ. You feel me? Yeah, I don't think we're gonna get hit with the whole 9 though. You feel me? I don't think so. I ain't jacking the 9. You feel me? I don't know about all that. You dig? But yeah, I mean it's nasty regardless. You feel me? Like it's too like you're wildin'. You know what I'm saying? So we gonna see, man. Again, this is not America. You know what I'm saying? We gonna see what happens, but yo, man. The law is the law at the same time. You know, you gotta obey the laws, fam. You gotta obey the law, respectfully. However, there's some bias here. There's definitely some bias here due to what's currently going on, and that's neither here nor there, you dig? Definitely some type of bias. But yeah, man, like I said, man, I say time and time again, y'all. You know, I say it time and time again, bro. But it is what it is, champs. But you gotta obey them laws respectfully. You dig? I'm just saying. You gotta obey them laws, champ. You gonna get hit. Let's get these likes up though. What are y'all doing, man? Make sure y'all smashing that like. Don't be coming in here not hitting that like. What's wrong with y'all, man? Smash that like button. Continue. Let's go.
Button. Push the goddamn 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 button.
Word to Sue Young, you better push the goddamn button, champ. Respectfully, smash that like. Let's continue.
what looks like some sort of press conference as we wait to see who does speak. Just want to remind viewers that when Brittney Griner's wife spoke with CBS Mornings, she told Gayle King, of course, she was terrified Brittney would be in prison for life. She does face 9 years. We understand that Cherelle Griner will not be making a statement imminently. We will wait to hear on any statements from Griner's defense teams. MTS, again, a question I'm not sure you can totally answer, but we touched on a little bit. Brittney Griner, as we've said, has been in prison already for 24 weeks. What do we know about what her state of mind has been? Of course, this is a whole new ballgame now that she's been sentenced to 9 years, but what can you tell us?
Yeah, it was really interesting watching her in the court. Obviously, this entire proceeding has been very complicated for her. She's in a Russian court. Most of obviously what's spoken there is Russian. She does have a translator, and so she is told what's being said in court. But if we look back to the very beginning of this ordeal and the first time that we heard from Brittney Griner, which was around a week ago when she addressed the court and kind of explained what happened, she said, I'd just gotten off this really long flight. I just recovered from COVID. And then I was taken into custody and I was asked all these questions and I didn't really understand what was going on. And I was made to sign things that I didn't understand. And I think that really sort of underscores a lot of her experience up until now, which is that she really didn't get a sense of what was going on, didn't get a sense of what her rights were, didn't really get a sense of what she was being accused of. And now here she is, a convicted criminal in Russia and somebody who has been sentenced to 9 years in prison on narcotics charges. And again, we saw from Brittney Griner in the court today, before this conviction was announced, and of course the sentencing was announced, an emotional person. I mean, she really, her voice quivered when she was describing her fears and more importantly, talking about, the situation that she faced. Again, saying that she hopes that her life doesn't end. And I can't imagine what it must be like to be sitting in a courtroom so far away from her home to learn that she's been sentenced to 9 years in prison. And as you rightly point out, her wife gave an interview to Gayle King on CBS Mornings. And it's clear there's a lot of love between these two spouses. Brittney Griner has mentioned her every single time that she's spoken to the court. And this is no doubt very difficult for her. And again, when we heard from her today, the one thing Brittney Griner was doing over and over again was apologizing to her wife, apologizing to her family, apologizing to her team in Arizona, and apologizing to her team in Russia as well. It's very clear that she feels terrible about this situation, and of course is no doubt very scared about what's to come given this sentencing. And she also finds herself in the middle of a massive geopolitical situation between two very powerful countries who are at odds with each other. And this is a pretty extraordinary situation.
And on that note, Imtiaz, we are just hearing from President Biden, who's weighing in. He has a statement saying, today, American citizen Brittney Griner received a prison sentence. That is one more reminder of what the world already knew. Russia is wrongfully detaining Brittney. It is unacceptable, and I call on Russia to release her immediately so she can be with her.
Nigga. Y'all hear this? Y'all hear this, bro? Yo, bro, let's just say as long as a certain someone is getting protected, as long as a certain someone ain't getting outed for they dirt that they do behind the scenes, then they okay with inflation and they okay with shorty being behind bars. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. Let's put it like that, nigga. All this inflation, champ. You dig? All this inflation, champ. OnlyFans has definitely gone up for these. They inflated everything. OnlyFans cost $30 per starter subscription. So what are you talking about? Your starter subscription on OF is now 30 and change. What are you talking about? It's not 10 no more, champ. You don't get to see buns for $10 no more. It went up by 20. Inflation, champ. Inflation. You did? You don't get to see buns for 10 no more, champ. The price, yesterday's price is not today's price, nigga. Yesterday's price is not today's price. You see what's going on out here, champ? You dig? I'm just saying. Man. Listen, salute, salute to the chat and all that. Get them likes up though, respectfully. Come on, where's the likes? We gotta get these likes up, man. What are we doing? We almost got 200 in the chat. And we only got how many likes? 54 likes? Come on, champs. What are we doing? What are we doing? Please get those likes up, man. If you're coming in, please, I repeat, please, 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 please. I beg of you to do this right now, respectfully. Push the goddamn button, champ. You feel me? What are we doing? Respectfully, but back to what I was saying, nigga. You see this inflation, champ. This is gonna happen as long as a certain someone's image is being protected because of a certain place. Let's just put it like that. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, man. You dig? I'm just saying, champs, respectfully. Listen, man. I'm not gonna hold. I really, bro. I'm gonna keep it a G with y'all. I expected this shit, man. I really expected something like this to happen. Like, maybe not, 20 or 30 years or something insane, but somewhere around the 8 or 9 range was definitely something I was thinking about in terms of this situation. That's how I looked at it. I'm not gonna hold y'all. You know what I'm saying? Look, man, gotta obey these laws, fam. You gotta obey these laws. You dig? But hey, man, I feel like she might get out in 2 to 3 years, maybe. 2 to 3 years, I think she gonna get out though. I ain't gonna hold you. You know what I'm saying? You gotta think about, the how long the president is in office and shit like that. So, whatever happens in 2 to 3 years, because how long Son been in office for, like a year or two right now? I think it's been about 2 years now, right? We got a few more years to go, and after those few years, we gonna see what happens. But I think that's what's gonna happen. Though I'm not gonna hold y'all. Once somebody else is in office, then maybe that's when they're gonna be a little more lenient and let shorty go. But this is petty. Like, you can only expect a country to be petty during a time like this. You know what I'm saying? I gotta use code words and all these keywords and all this to protect the channel and the content. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we gonna see, man. Like I said, this is nasty work. Respectfully, this is very nasty work indeed. Make sure y'all continue to get these likes up. Let's continue, man.
With her wife, loved ones, friends, and teammates, my administration will continue to work tirelessly and pursue every possible avenue to bring Brittney and Paul Whelan home safely as soon as possible. To speak more on this, I want to bring in now Jonathan Franks. He is a spokesperson for Trevor Reed, who was freed in a prisoner swap with Russia back in April. Thanks for being here, Jonathan. We know that Trevor had also received a 9-year sentence in a Russian prison, just like the sentence that Brittney Griner has just received. Can you tell us anything more about, now as the attention is shifting to the possibility of a prisoner swap, what that would mean? And we understand that for your client, it meant for him 3 years in a Russian prison. Might Brittney Griner be looking at a substantial amount of time before this can be ironed out?
And thanks for having me. The simple answer is yes. She could be looking at a substantial period of time. I hope that's not the case. I watched her set the feed of her sentencing today.
I'm so sorry, Jonathan. As this is breaking news, we are just now hearing from a spokesperson outside of.
I attended every session of Ms. Griner's trial. We will continue to be closely engaged in this case. We will remain in frequent contact with Ms. Griner and with her legal team. Secretary of State Blinken, President Biden's President Biden's national security team and the entire American government remain committed to bringing Ms. Griner home safely to her family, friends, and loved ones. And I, as Charge d'Affaires of the U.S. Embassy in Moscow, will also do my best to bring her home safely. I will continue to do everything to care for the safety and well-being of Ms. Griner and of all U.S. citizens detained in the Russian Federation. We have no higher priority. Thank you.
Is it still possible to change her?
I have no further.
Time out. This girl is 6'9", gang. This girl is 6'9". Safety. Nigga, the other inmates need to worry about their safety. She's 6'9", nigga. She's 6'9", champ. Heard of my mother. It's their safety that need to be worried about. She gonna violate somebody, champ. She's 6'9" and at least 200. What do you say, around 230, maybe 225? She's somewhere around that range, right? They need to be worried. What are you talking about? Her safety. What about the other inmate safety, champ? She is 6'8" or 6'9", bro. She around there. You dig? You about the same height as LeBron. I think the other inmates need to be worried, not her, respectfully. You feel me? I'm just saying. By the way, she definitely gonna get out in like 2 to 3 years, man. Ain't no way they gonna let her serve their whole 9. You know, being petty is just being petty. Word of my mother. But come on, son. She's 6'8". You talking about her safety. My nigga. She definitely got a dunk package. What is y'all talking about, nigga? Come on, champ. I don't think she has anything to worry about. This is my personal opinion, though. I don't think she has anything to worry about. I don't think she got anything to worry about. I'm gonna keep it a G with y'all. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, she definitely coming out there, you know. He definitely gonna be coming out there, definitely wild, brawlic, for sure. But listen, man. It is what it is. Like, come on, what can you do about the situation? You know what I'm saying? But let's continue this footage they got.
We were just hearing from the Charge d'Affaires for U.S. citizens saying there's no higher priority than bringing home U.S. citizens who are wrongfully detained, which is the position of the U.S. government. Jonathan, sorry to have interrupted you, but obviously with breaking news, we pivot to where the story is. Please continue when we're talking about prisoner swaps. What's next for Brittney Griner?
What's next is she could be very well transferred to prison camp. And I've been watching the so-called proceeding today with Google Translate's help. I found that proceeding absurd. There's no other way to, there was numerous pieces of irrelevant, prejudicial evidence that I'm not sure was introduced in court. A bizarre theater of the absurd today, because this has been in the can since she was charged and orchestrated from above. So I think we didn't really see a court appearance today. We saw a shellacking, and it's just absolutely horrendous. It was horrendous when it was done to Trevor Reed. It was horrendous when it was done to Paul Whelan. It was horrendous when it was done to Mark Fogel. 9 years for allegedly having the cannabis equivalent of a cigarette butt is absurd.
Jonathan, as you've watched other Americans on trial in Russia and you compare some of what you just described, what Brittney Griner's trial has looked like and what has unfolded during this time, reminding our audience that this all began a week before Russia invaded Ukraine. Have you seen any differences in Griner's, court case in the trial?
Yes, and yes, I think that the trial was higher profile. It was shorter because she pled guilty. Trevor did not plead guilty. But it does seem to me to be this, relatively similar. And, I kind of, it's theater of the absurd. Nothing ever seems to matter. I mean, her lawyers put forth an excellent, case on mitigation, both her contribution to both Russian and American society, and the fact that the search didn't comply with Russian law. And that didn't seem to make a difference. I mean, 9 years seems to be the magic number for their hostage taking these days.
Jonathan, that's a very interesting point that there are several points in which the defense has argued that she was not afforded the rights that are provided to all people who are accused of crimes under Russian laws. Thank you for joining us. We're going to continue the conversation with Imtiaz and Jessica. Jessica, it's important to acknowledge that in addition to obviously being a high-profile American in the context of strife between Russia and the U.S., she's also a Black woman who is a member of the LGBTQ community, and Russia has, and President Putin in particular, have been criticized for their treatment of LGBTQ people and crackdowns that have denied human rights to those. Tell us more about that context and how that may be concerning people who are supporting Brittney Griner.
Well, I think that's why people were listening, or part of the reason why people were listening so carefully, for instance, to what her conditions are in terms of how she's being held and how she may be held. And I think you're exactly right to point this out. We're talking about a woman of color who's a member of the LGBT community. And we know that Russia is not a place, at least under Vladimir Putin, where they have pushed for equality. I mean, that may be the understatement of the morning, but they have not treated the LGBT community as being deserving of equal rights. They have treated them with discrimination. And so I think, again, that's why when we hear reporting of the prison guards, for instance, saying, Brittney, we're with you, a lot of people have more concern maybe than they would for another American, Caucasian male, for instance, about what is actually happening to her while she's being held and what may happen to her next. Now, obviously, we don't know how any of those dynamics in terms of her identity and who she is played into the trial and the sentencing, because we know, again, it's worth emphasizing, Russian courts are not like American courts. The protections that we enjoy when it comes to criminal defendants are a far cry from what we see in many foreign countries, but in particular now we're seeing in a Russian courtroom. And so I think we're exactly right to ask the question of what will happen to her and will she be treated, frankly, in a way that is even more concerning because she's a woman of color, because she's a member of the LGBT community. I think President Biden's statement here is really unequivocal, and he's saying this is a top priority to bring her home in a way that gives him, I think, it decreases some of his bargaining power, right? To say, we need this, we want this, we're putting this as a top priority. But he has to say that because we're all talking about this, we're all watching, and we're all, frankly, or I'll speak for myself, worried that she is going to be inside a Russian prison for 9 years and worried about what that will mean for her.
Imtiaz, I want to turn back to you. Again, I know we're just hearing this news, but have we heard any reaction from other foreign leaders? You know, what might we anticipate reaction from just Europeans across the board?
Well, I think the nations that obviously are naturally aligned with the U.S. are certainly going to be appalled at this conviction and are certainly going to be advising their citizens not to travel to Russia and to be very mindful when they do travel to Russia. This conviction of, frankly, of somebody who is now high profile and is certainly going to cause a lot of alarm for a lot of people. It basically says that you can be a two-time Olympic gold medalist, you can be a WNBA star, you can be somebody who has spent 7 years of their life in Russia, who has committed to spending a lot of time living in Russia, playing with Russian teammates, having friends in Russia, having a life in Russia. And even then, you could be essentially face some of the stiffest penalties penalties that a court can give, ignoring the broader context of what we've been saying about Brittney Griner, whether or not her arrest itself followed the letter of the law in Russia, and more importantly, if this verdict is fitting to the crime that she committed, which is having a very small amount of cannabis oil, which was prescribed to her by a doctor. But again, it really just widens the lens here because we are looking at this from a geopolitical point of view. This is obviously a very terrible situation for Brittney Griner. It's a terrible situation for her family, her loved ones, and indeed Brittney Griner's teammates in Russia and indeed in the US. But this has, as we've been saying, huge geopolitical ramifications. Again, just moments after her sentencing, we hear from the US president with this pretty sharp statement, and it really just underscores the situation, and perhaps more importantly, the tense relationship between Moscow and Washington right now, and how hard it may be for them to come up with some kind of an agreement which will see her released, if it's going to be this prisoner swap. And again, the calculus now lies on the Russian side as to whether or not they think it's in their best interest to antagonize the U.S., because hanging on to her is certainly going to antagonize the U.S., and that is something that they want to do in the short term. But, you know, as we've been hearing, when it comes to Brittney Griner herself, as part of the sentencing of 9 years, we also understand she's going to be sent to a penal colony. Now, what that means in real terms, well, it's hard to say, but I suppose if we use our imagination, it's probably not going to be great. And she's going to find herself in a very difficult situation for an unknown period of time. The hope is that negotiations between Russia and the U.S. will move quickly, and that she will be sent home just as quickly. But given how tense things are, and given what we understand about the initial interaction between Sergei Lavrov, who is the Russian foreign minister, and the Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, that it's not looking great, quite frankly. And so we understand that the U.S. will continue to pursue this deal, continue to pursue a way to get Brittney Griner and indeed Paul Whelan out of Russia. But as of today, it seems we're no further ahead in this situation. And Brittney Griner is now trying to absorb the enormity of what's just happened. She's been sentenced to 9 years in a Russian penal colony, and after spending already 24 weeks behind bars.
Imtiaz, does this give pause?
Hold on one sec. Let me explain something to you niggas real quick. So, niggas are crying, complain if a nigga end up going for a week or two off this channel, talk about YouTube is dry. Oh, Showface, we need you. Crying, all this other shit. Niggas won't send no support. Niggas won't do nothing. But when I get live again, niggas wanna come in the chat talking a bunch of dumbass shit, like fucking putting out a bunch of slurs against a certain community, and wonder why the channel get boomed. If you come on my chat talking any type of weird slander towards any community or anything that you know not supposed to be on YouTube, just putting that, you're gonna get boomed. Do not come on the channel, do not come on the chat with no nonsense. I will boom you. And don't come on my inbox talking about why did you boom me, nigga. I boomed you because you know you're not supposed to be doing that. I boomed you because you had no regards for the channel and you're wilding, nigga. And you don't even support the channel. So it ain't like you had a purpose of being there in the first place. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. I'm just letting niggas know that up front. Do not come on the page putting up foolish shit that's not supposed to be on YouTube thinking you won't get boomed. I ain't got a problem booming niggas. I will get plenty of subscribers, nigga. I will get more subscribers and more subscribers. I could lose one subscriber. It don't matter to me. I'm going to keep it a G. I ain't begging nobody to be here. But do not come in my chat talking no dumb shit. Respectfully. You feel me? That's all I'm telling you. But let's proceed, y'all.
As to other U.S. citizens who may be living in Russia or thinking about traveling to Russia. We know that the State Department has weighed in on this particular case, but Do we know, is there greater guidance given how they feel Brittney Griner has been unfairly treated?
Yeah, it's really interesting. In my job as a journalist, we travel to complicated places, and oftentimes there are travel advisories from the State Department saying you shouldn't go to this country or you should leave this country. U.S. citizens are advised to leave. Russia is no different. The reality is, though, is when you speak to Americans who are living in countries that are going through challenging times or have challenging relationships with the country that they're from, in this case, the U.S., that oftentimes people make decisions which go against the advice that the State Department or the government has, and that's because in the case of Brittney Griner, she had a team that she played for 7 years. She spent a lot of time in Russia. It was a team that she was very close to, and as evidence in her statements in the court, was very proud to play for. And perhaps even if you want to widen the lens a bit more, it really underscores the challenges that professional basketball players who play for the Wnba have, in which they need to supplement their incomes. And many of them play abroad. And for Brittney Griner, she chose to play abroad in Russia. And now look at the situation she finds herself in. And so when you consider Americans abroad, Americans in Russia, and indeed in other countries, at the end of the day, the U.S. Can't force them to come home, but this really is a cautionary tale that you're flying to Russia, a place that you know well, a place that you've played professionally for years, in the case of Brittney Griner, and you pack a bag really quickly and you're just recovering from COVID and it's a really long flight, and you throw a bunch of stuff into what we now know to be a very large suitcase or backpack, and at the very bottom of it is 1 or 2 grams of a medically prescribed cannabis oil. And because that was in her bag, she's now sentenced to 9 years in a Russian penal colony and is at the center of this geopolitical storm. And so, yeah, I think for those Americans who are currently in Russia, still in Russia, in spite of everything, this will certainly be a huge concern to them, and perhaps maybe that very reason why they do choose to leave.
We're seeing now what looks like a Russian official speaking Russian. While we wait to hear what he is saying from our translators, Jessica, I just want to turn to you.
See, now here's my question. Like, would niggas care if it was a more known player? Because, you know what I'm saying? She a WNBA player. You know the world don't really care about the WNBA. Let's keep it a G. You know the world really don't give a goddamn about the WNBA. Let's keep it a stat. If it was somebody like LeBron James, there would have been way more outpours. You know what I'm saying? They would have moved mountains to get son out of there, respectfully. They ain't really moving mountains for shorty like that. I ain't going. You gotta tell it like it is, nigga. They ain't trying to move a mountain. Let's keep it a G. They ain't trying to move nothing for sure. Like, well, she'll be all right. She'll be back. Like, you feel me? Niggas is like, nah, champ. It's not LeBron, though. Yeah, it's Brittney Griner, but it's not LeBron, champ. Respectfully. You feel me? Like, niggas ain't moving a mountain. Like, well, I'm sorry, champ. She is going to have to thug it out. But if it was Bron, oh, hell no. Them niggas would have had a whole war out there behind that. You feel me? Nigga says she not Bron. She is not King James. So they not moving no mountains for shorty. In fact, if it was LeBron James, they might have not violated son. They might have been like, you know what, champ, we're gonna let you rock out. Real talk. It's real talk. Status matters, nigga. I'm gonna keep it a G with you. Status definitely matter. WNBA player ain't holding no type of weight. If you don't keep it a G stack, I ain't gonna hold you. I mean, look, free Shorty and all that. Free Brittney Griner and all that. Cause, you know, I think it's a harsh sentence, but it is what it is, fam. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy though. But yeah, I mean, look, listen, man. I don't know what more to say. You know, we pretty much done here. But the reality of the situation is she ain't LeBron James, nigga. It's not Bron. And since it's not Bron, she gonna have to thug it out. Sorry, champs. This is exactly what it is. You dig? This is how the world works. This is how it's gonna go, nigga. It's just business, nigga. It's just business. You know, you gotta tell it like it is, fam. Sorry to tell you, but once again, y'all, make sure y'all smash the like button. Y'all gotta get these likes up, respectfully. Let's get it. Push the goddamn button and get these likes up, respectfully. Merch is Sue Young, you heard? Hey, make sure you do. I repeat, make sure you do subscribe to our new Patreon. Me and Talking Tough with Stino have our own Patreon right now. It is www.patreon.com/toughhouse1. We have hours upon hours of content. Make sure you go to patreon.com right now /toughhouse1, patreon.com/toughhouse1, and become a patron today. Become a patron, respectfully. Join the Patreon. You dig? We'll be live every other day with the Toughathon. We'll be live every other day with the Toughathon. And you already know how it goes down over there, man. Make sure y'all smash the like button and get these likes up, man. I'm about to be up out of here. Stay tuned for more content. Y'all be easy. Peace. Go to wearetough.com right now and get your Tough House. I said Tough House. And get your merch. Get your wearetough.com merch. We got the Sniper Gang tees. We got the Reflect tees. We got all types of tees. You already know the vibes, man. Smash that like button. Let's get these likes up. I'm out of here. Peace. Sniper Gang, then make sure you go to wearetough.com right now and get you that new Sniper Gang merch. Use promo code Showface News to get 15% off on your order right now. And also make sure you follow Showface News on Clubhouse right now to be a part of the conversation. Join the Sniper Gang today. Salute. No, I said you're going to get results. There is no going wrong with my methods at all. Listen, there is not a better time or place to go crazy on YouTube than right now. That is almost 1 million views up there in less than a month's time. All it takes is dedication. All it takes is consistency. I'm going to show you everything you could ever need to make a great YouTube page, to get 5-figure income and more. Listen, this could take you places. You'd be surprised who you can meet. I've had celebrities. I repeat, I've had celebrities in my live chats. All types of people. You'd be very surprised who you may come in contact with just because you have gone so deep in the algorithm. I don't know if this is a fake King Louis, but if it is the real, that's the real him?
Yeah.
Really? People still gonna take her side. You know? D. Haven says she's not going to jail, not dealing with Rock Nation. She good. Yeah? Now, I'll be honest with you, man. To even have thousands on your YouTube on a regular basis, which I do, is rare. I have my own algorithm. Showface News is its own algorithm. A lot of channels don't got that. I have a very unique channel. I do my own thing. You gotta be creative. You gotta have uniqueness. That's what YouTube looks for. YouTube respects hard work and creativity. You understand? But again, you can learn from me. You can learn a lot from me, and I can give you this game, and I can help you become great. But listen, you have to be consistent. You have to be consistent. You want to do a class for one section of YouTube? That's cool. You want to get the entire game in one setting? That's cool too. The only way you're going to have issues after learning from me is if you're not consistent. And that's the hardest part about it all. Consistency. Consistency is key. You got to keep putting out content. Little Durk, the rapper, is very successful. Why? Because he continues to put out content. Yeah, he might be rich. Yeah, he might be doing well for himself. However, he wants to stay relevant and stay up in that algorithm. And that's what you got to do. Stay up in that algorithm, y'all. You got to have love and passion for it. Do what you love. You want to cook? You a dancer. You wanna walk people through your life. You a truck driver. You wanna show people how your life is. You wanna speak on current events in your truck or whatever you wanna do. There's a lane for everything. Act right now. DM me or hit my line. You know the number. You know where to hit me. Let's get started today. I'm ready. I hope you are. Let's get it.